Have you ever seen a country where ladies are the ones who propose? A place where a village of actual dwarves exists? A town with only one resident, yet it has its own entry visa? And what about a street so steep that cars have to be parked sideways to keep from sliding down? How do the locals even deal with that? What's even crazier is that the cost of living is just 60% of what it is in the US. This is New Zealand, an odd little world where the most unreal things are totally real. Join us as we uncover 15 of the mind-blowing facts about New Zealand, starting with number 15, New Zealand women. In New Zealand, beauty isn't staged, it's lived. Women here are grounded, bold, and refreshingly real. From Wellington to Queenstown, you'll find them in hoodies and boots, surfing at sunrise, teaching yoga under starlit skies, or driving pickup trucks through rugged terrain. They don't rely on makeup to feel confident like US girls. Sun-kissed skin and wind-swept hair speak for their wild, free-spirited lifestyle. It's no surprise that New Zealand was the first country to grant women the right to vote back in 1893. Today, the country remains a global leader in gender equality and personal freedom. Many women run farms, manage businesses, and live minimalist lives in off-grid homes. In places like Wellington, they'll often make the first move, striking up conversations, offering hiking tips, or just saying "G'day" with zero pretense. They're open, curious, and full of life. If you bring respect, authenticity, and a willingness to embrace simplicity, you might just find more than friendship here. You'll find a good and loyal connection. Number 14, Baldwin Street. This street isn't just steep, it defies logic. With a 38% gradient, this stretch climbs nearly 3 feet for every 9 feet you walk forward. At one point, Guinness World Records removed its title after a street in Wales claimed to be steeper. But by 2020, the original record was restored after Guinness admitted to botching the measurements. Locals went all out. The slope ended up on mugs, shirts, magnets, and pet collars. Because of the incline, parking isn't a casual task. Cars must be turned sideways to avoid rolling. Homes are built at awkward angles, but feel level once you're inside. During winter, the entire road freezes into a natural ski slide, while in summer, it hosts races where participants sprint to the top just for the bragging rights. The community once tried baking the steepest cake ever. It didn't work out. The icing slid off before anyone could take a bite. Number 13, spa culture. In New Zealand, spa days aren't about robes and cucumber water. They're about lava, mud, and mineral heat straight from the earth. Rotorua, the geothermal heart of the North Island, is famed for its natural hot springs and volcanic spas. Locals believe soaking in these waters isn't just relaxation, it's cleansing for the spirit. At places like Hell's Gate, you can cover yourself in rich Maori mineral mud, then dip into cedar tubs perched on volcanic cliffs. The heat isn't piped in, it bubbles straight up from underground. In Queenstown's onsen hot pools, you can soak while staring at the snow-covered Remarkables mountain range, feeling like you're inside a fantasy film. Even the food gets the geothermal treatment. Some spas serve hangi, a Maori feast cooked using underground steam. With prices starting around $30, it's not just a soak. It's a reset for body and mind. Number 12, Hobbiton. Well, before you ask, yes, Hobbiton is real, and it's more than just a movie set. Nestled in Matamata on the North Island, this enchanting village was built on a 1,200-acre dairy farm for Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings. After the trilogy's success, the set was preserved as a living attraction. Today, you can wander among 44 cozy Hobbit homes, peek into miniature gardens, touch wooden wells, and watch smoke rise from chimneys each morning. Everything you see is handcrafted from natural stone, timber, and plants. No plastic or LED lights, just pure immersion. The locals are known for their warmth. They call you mate on first meeting and offer a cold beer without hesitation. Some double as Hobbiton guides by night, sharing tales of Middle-earth like they've lived it. At the Green Dragon Inn, sip craft brews under the party tree or stand where Gandalf once rode in. Locals even call the area the home of little dreams, and it is. Number 11. Life in Wellington. Wellington might be the capital, but it refuses to act like one. Well, here, just forget the big city pace. This place moves with purpose but never stress. Known as the windiest city on earth, gusts whip through the streets like a running joke. Yet locals don't flinch. They sip flat whites on open patios like the wind isn't yanking napkins off their tables. On Cuba Street, a pedestrian lane of street artists, jazz musicians, and vintage shops, there's even a bike-powered fountain that only activates when someone pedals. Residential houses often have mini awnings, just for shoes. Taking them off at the door isn't a suggestion, it's a habit. Evening lights glow across Courtney Place, where bars spill music into the street. Folk one night, indie the next. Public transport is chill, honking is rare, and if you sing on the bus, the driver might actually let you ride for free without any money. Wellington is proof that a city doesn't need chaos to feel alive. Number 10. The land at the edge of the world. New Zealand sits in near isolation in the southwestern Pacific Ocean, over 1,200 miles from Australia. Often called the distant cousin of the Western world, the country is made up of the North and South Islands and 700-plus smaller ones, spanning roughly 104,000 square miles, just slightly larger than Colorado. Yet its population remains low, with around 5.2 million people in 2025, barely a third of New York City. In contrast, over 29 million sheep roam the hills here, about 6 per person. The population includes European descendants, Maori, Pacific Islanders, and a fast-growing Asian community. English and Maori are both official languages, with Maori now taught in schools and proudly spoken in homes. The land is dramatic, from snow-draped peaks to lush rainforests and white sand beaches. Winter falls between June and August, a reversal that often surprises visitors. In New Zealand, you don't have to choose between sea and summit. Skiing in the morning and surfing by afternoon isn't a flex here. It's just another Tuesday. Number 9. The kiwi bird. New Zealand's national icon doesn't soar or roar. It shuffles, hides, and digs. The kiwi is a small, flightless bird that avoids daylight and has a sharper nose than eyesight. Unlike other birds, it uses its long beak to smell food buried underground, almost like a tiny sniffer dog in feathered form. Its eggs are shockingly large, up to 25% of the mother's body weight. That's a biological feat unmatched in the bird world. Locals don't just protect this bird, they identify with it. You'll spot kiwi crossing signs on highways where drivers brake for these shy creatures. Once they pair up, kiwis remain loyal for life, nesting and raising young quietly together. You won't hear one squawk. You won't see it strut. But in this quiet bird, New Zealanders see their values: resilience, loyalty, and understatement. To witness one in person, visit sanctuaries in Rotorua or Zealandia, but move slowly. Kiwis don't show off. They hide. Number 8. The Maori. Hongi isn't a nod or a wave. It's the moment two foreheads and noses press together, sharing breath as a sign of respect. In Maori tradition, this act signals a deep connection, an invitation into shared space. It's more than hello. It means you belong. Around 16% of New Zealand's population identifies as Maori, and many still live in rural areas like Rotorua, where traditions are preserved through the community. Homes often include several generations, and meals like hanga, cooked underground using steam, aren't just food, they're memory. Women, especially during ceremonial gatherings, have the right to propose by gifting a handmade bracelet or token. The balance between love and freedom is embedded in Maori views on relationships. Nature isn't background here, it's family. Winds, rivers, and even birds are seen as carriers of the ancestral spirit. Before weddings or big events, the haka, a powerful chant dance, proclaims unity and strength. To outsiders, it's a performance. To Maori, it's a bold declaration. Number 7. Cost of living. Compared to major cities in the US, life in New Zealand runs at a softer pace and on a lighter budget. In urban centers like Christchurch or Wellington, monthly rent for a one-bedroom apartment sits between $950 and $1,200, while smaller towns often dip below $800. Utilities for electricity, gas, water, and internet typically run between $110 and $140 a month. Grocery trips focused on fresh produce, seafood, and seasonal fruits can average $60 to $80 weekly. Dining out at mid-range restaurants might set you back just $15, and coffee rarely crosses the $4 mark. Public transport is efficient, with bus or train fares around $2 to $3 per ride and monthly passes costing about $70. Even basic health care, including dental checkups, remains affordable at around $50 per visit. Gym memberships range from $30 to $50 per month. Altogether, a modest yet comfortable monthly lifestyle floats between $1,300 to $1,600, depending on habits and city size. For many, the value-to-quality ratio here is unbeatable. If you're planning to change your country, then go for it. Number 6. Sheep walking. In some parts of New Zealand, walking a sheep is just another afternoon activity. In regions like Waikato or Otago, locals rent out full-grown sheep for countryside strolls. And yes, tourists line up for it. These animals aren't just props. They're responsive, know their handlers, and some even follow whistled commands. New Zealand's sheep population, hovering around 25 million, makes the whole concept oddly practical. Locals treat their sheep like extended family. Some have nicknames, some get bathed before a walk. Visitors learn to call, pose, or even sit beside them on grassy hills that look straight out of a Tolkien scene. On some farms, tourists are taught how to herd or groom sheep, while farmers proudly demonstrate unique whistling techniques. There was even a national sheep whistling championship, and one year, a sheep conductor was appointed just for laughs. These woolly wanderers aren't zoo exhibits. They're a quiet reflection of how deeply animals are woven into Kiwi identity. All right, guys, now let's move to number 5, Wangamomona. In the Stratford district, Wangamomona doesn't feel like the rest of New Zealand because technically it declared itself a republic. This wasn't just a stunt. They've passports, presidential elections, and a national day, all recognized within the town. With a population under 40, this close-knit village runs on trust. The local government building is a Victorian pub over a century old. It serves beer, issues passports, and anchors the town's unofficial embassy. There's one lone gas pump, completely self-service, no shelter, no staff. Homes here are made from wood, their backyards doubling as goat pens or tool sheds. No police, no cameras, and no traffic lights, yet it remains peacefully untouched. Every 2 years, the town elects a new president, sometimes human, sometimes animal. Past presidents have included a goat named Billy and a dog named Ty. Everyone's got a nickname. It's part Wild West, part inside joke, and completely its own world. Number 4. Food. New Zealand's cuisine isn't fast, it's felt. It starts underground, where hangi meals are slow-cooked for hours using buried hot stones. Meat and vegetables absorb earthy steam, creating flavors rooted in generations of Maori tradition. Paua, black abalone, offers a chewy bite and an iridescent shell that chefs sometimes turn into jewelry. Green-lipped mussels, enormous and vivid, are served in white wine or garlic butter, soft, briny, and rich. Kina, or sea urchin, is a delicacy that divides opinion. Some eat it raw from the shell. Others blend it into fine dining sushi rolls. Roast lamb remains a centerpiece dish, tender and roasted to near perfection, usually paired with baked root vegetables and gravy. For dessert, pavlova, a crisp meringue with a soft center and a heap of fresh fruit, wins every time. And the drink? L&P, lemon and Piroa, a fizzy national favorite so iconic that there's a 7-meter statue of the bottle in Waikato. Every dish here carries not just flavor, but legacy. Number 3. Festivals. Festivals in New Zealand aren't just scheduled events, they're living, moving artworks. In Wellington, the World of Wearable Art show transforms fashion into sculpture. Models wear outfits made of recycled wires, dried leaves, and welded metal, all synced to lights, sound, and movement. It's performance art that sells out like a music festival. In Auckland, March turns into a celebration of the Pacific Islands during the Pacifica Festival. Entire parks become temporary nations. Each island has its own zone with dancers, traditional foods, and handmade crafts. The scent of grilled fish and taro wafts through the air as performers share chants passed down for centuries. During Lunar New Year, Auckland and Christchurch glow with paper lanterns, lion dancers, and open-air stalls serving bao buns, dumplings, and bubble tea. The mix of culture, food, and light draws hundreds of thousands each year. These aren't just celebrations, they're identity on display, written in fabric, fire, rhythm, and joy. We simply can't match with these guys. Number 2. New Zealand Natural Wonders. Some places are best seen without a screen. New Zealand is one of them. The landscape flips between raw wilderness and pristine beauty with no warning. At Milford Sound, sheer cliffs frame black fjord waters as waterfalls crash from heights that feel unreal. Kayaking here feels like paddling through a moving painting. Heli fishing is another local thrill, flying by chopper into untouched alpine rivers where your fishing line is likely the first one ever dropped. At Lake Tekapo, the turquoise water is so vivid it looks digitally enhanced, even though it's not. Night skies here don't need telescopes. The Milky Way spills across them clearly enough to spot with the naked eye. At Waiotapu, geothermal pools steam in hues of orange and neon green like an open art palette. In Abel Tasman National Park, you can kayak beside seals, pitch a tent on golden sand, and wake to dolphins dancing in the surf. This isn't tourism, it's immersion. Number 1. Waitomo, New Zealand's underground galaxy. Step into Waitomo and you'll forget the stars are supposed to be in the sky. Beneath New Zealand's rolling hills lies a network of ancient limestone caves, over 30 million years old, illuminated by thousands of tiny glowworms, Arachnocampa luminosa, a species found only in New Zealand. These bioluminescent creatures dangle glowing threads from cave ceilings, creating a natural light show that feels like a floating galaxy. The tours take place in total darkness. You board a boat and drift silently through the caves. No flashlights, no voices, just the sound of water trickling around you and the unreal glow above. Filmmakers have called it better than CGI, but for the Maori, it's more than visual magic. These caves hold spiritual meaning, and the glowworms are seen as living ancestors. First opened to visitors in 1889, the caves now attract over 1 million tourists a year. No photo can do it justice. It's something your eyes have to feel to believe. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, share it, and smack that subscribe button for more content like this.